Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's Pinky. We got news, baby. I know. I don't do it that often. I don't do, like, there are so many fragrance houses. I only do the ones, so if you're here for the first time, I only do the ones that basically I've done here on this channel. And of course that will grow and there'll be more news as time goes on. I kind of do this for myself, but people seem to enjoy it, so we will enjoy it together. Yes. So we're just going to go through them and talk about them. So right now, Clue Perfumery, we're just going to skip that one because they don't do much that often. They wait every couple years. Very small brand. Totally get it. Totally respect it. So yes, they are quiet and I'm always excited. I'm always stalking their Instagram, just going, come on. Because they're one of my favorite brands. I think they only have 5 fragrances at this time. It's a very small house. But I kind of like it because they're not constantly pounding out like fragrances. They're keeping it very small and niche, and I absolutely adore it. But nothing as of yet. So we are going to move on to briefly Elorea. Again, there's not a lot on that, and you know it's kind of a good thing because we can all keep the money in our pockets, right? They have these new moon vases that they brought out that basically lets out fragrance. These moon vases are pottery pieces that were big in Korea. They were used back in the day. And so they created something like this that you could put into your house, and you could put fragrance in it and control how much you would like. And you could choose your favorite fragrance and have it fill your house. I just don't need any more hazy moon or hazy blue. I said hazy moon. I don't need any more hazy blue in my house because I wear it all the time. Can you imagine? People would just be so over it. They go. So, yeah, there you go. But it's kind of like a diffuser type thing, which I do like. I would keep something like that in my bathroom. But I have to be careful with my kitties because some of them, you have to be careful. Well, candles more with her. And this isn't, it's diffusion of scent. But she doesn't hang out in the bathroom too much. Kind of like myself. So there you go. They also are going to be raising their prices here soon, so I think it's only going up by $10, $20 from my understanding. So just know that they're going up, everything's going up, and it's kind of like okay, but yeah, so that's the big news, the diffuser. And just know if you're looking at the same price point that you were looking at before, tis the time to buy it before it goes up. Okay, so this one's actually really interesting. It's room 1015. I did not do the whole collection. I did the discovery set, and then it wasn't available in the US, but it's been back for a while. This one intrigued me. I will say the fragrances for the most part were very creative, but didn't always necessarily work the best on me. And so with this one though, Wasabi Club. I love wasabi. And back in the day, you could see me in the club. So there you go. But, so this one's very interesting. It's the scent of movement and self-definition, inspired by the codes of street culture with raw energy of freestyle dancing. It captures the attitude, embodies emotion in full expression. It was born from the desire to create something collective, energetic, and playful. It's about showing up, standing out, and expressing yourself with precision and instinct. So very sharp and electric. So the notes are yuzu, which beautiful, and grapefruit and lime. So beautiful citrus right there at the head note. And the heart note is wasabi. That's what I'm talking about. Timur, Szechuan black pepper. Wow. And then the base notes are amberwoods, archinox, and concrete accord. So I can totally see what they're doing here. That's really interesting. This intrigues me. This intrigues me so much. I want a sample of this. I want a sample. Just the beautiful citrus, which, come on. And then amberwoods. I love amber. The concrete accord, especially if it's street dance, where you'll see that a lot. And wasabi and pepper. The trio, the pepper trio, right in front of us, right there. That is amazing. And when I saw this come up, because I'm like, let me just look around, doing, I always research, see what's going on with the ones that I've already done. And this one popped up. And normally with room 1015, I'm like, okay, because not all the scents really worked with me. This one, I'm like, I gotta try. This one I have got to try. So we'll talk about Snif. Snif is always putting out new stuff. Snif's just always, I didn't realize how much it just turns out. I only did the special menu, but they're putting out stuff. So there you go. They're putting out body bombs, which makes sense. Laundry detergent, now body bombs. It makes sense. They're going to make that coin any way that they can, which is the purpose of companies. Totally get it. So you can get, in limited sense, you can get body bombs. Not necessarily the most exciting thing unless you really love a fragrance, but you can check out their Instagram, and they have, they're still advertising the Milk 2%. That was released a couple months ago that I have a review for, and you can see a really hunky guy on there. I hate that word. It just popped out of my mouth. Yes, sex sells, and they're trying. This guy's dressed up in a farmer outfit, with no shirt. So there you go. My grandparents were farmers. They never looked like that. It was flannel and jeans day in and day out. So there you go. I just looked at that and went, yeah, okay. I see what you're going for. It just cracks me up. That's why I love these news. It's like I get to look at stuff and go, what? Okay. So yes, the next one is, oh goodness, there's so many. Born to Stand Out. So they have 2 new fragrances. And as we know with Born to Stand Out, it was the last big series that I just ended. And I'm sure there's new ones, there are 2 new ones. And there are 2. And I think I missed a few in my original one because they are constantly putting stuff out. And I was looking at their Instagram, and that's always, okay, their descriptions are known for being crazy on their website of their fragrances. I really recommend you go check it out, just because it always made me giggle when I was reviewing them. And then there is now just the photos on their page. They're in Korea, people do this and they put hearts together. There's one like this and then the middle finger. And then they're trying to put like inspirational words, and it's like, that's not inspirational. It's just, I really encourage you to go look it up because it just cracked me up. I'm like, this isn't inspirational. But they do have 2 new fragrances, and it's always hard to navigate their site. Always hard to navigate their site. So I always have to go elsewhere. So basically, looking at one site, this is what it says. The top notes are milk, saffron, caramel, and mahonial. So what's interesting is they love saffron. There's certain brands that you will always see certain things in their fragrances, and they adore saffron. It's in almost every fragrance of theirs. Not every, but many. So it's kind of like, Zoologist always has incense, and not always, but there's a high proportion of those fragrances that have them, and they love that saffron. But the middle notes are iris butter. I didn't know there was butter from iris. I just thought it was iris. And condensed milk. I love ambrofix and cypriol. And the base notes are leather. They love leather too. Akagala wood, oud, vanilla absolute, and tonka bean. So they love leather and saffron. I'm interested to see what this smells like. I'm not really, condensed milk, there it is. And milk, the top notes are milk. Yeah, and then a condensed milk. So it's definitely there. I'm definitely curious, but the leather, I feel like with Born to Stand Out, and I will say it, for me, I feel like the leather that they use, the leather note, doesn't work for me. It just does not work for me. It's just not, it just ends up dulling the scent and not really adding much to it. So this one makes me a little bit nervous, just because I can say that pretty much any one of their fragrances that used that leather, I did not much care for. But that's just a me preference. You may go, you're crazy, I love it, and then you are going to love this. But I am curious because I love condensed milk. I love milky scents. I love lactose scents. So that excites me. But then they released yet another scent because, it's Born to Stand Out. And this one is Cola Addict, which I tried a cola one here with Snif. So this isn't something that's new. There's a few, I think Snif started it out. There was probably someone before them. And then other companies jumped on the bandwagon. There's something kind of cool and refreshing about smelling like soda. I think so. I really do. Is it strange to want to smell like soda? Maybe, but don't judge because it's great. So this is their version of Cola Addict, which is lemon and lemon peel and lime peel, which makes sense. You know, the peel helps like bring it out, or the zestiness of the citrus helps bring out that cola. So that's also the note: cola, cinnamon, ginger, and neroli. I love everything about that top tier, or the top notes right there. The citrus, the cola, the cinnamon, the ginger. I love ginger. I didn't think of ginger in a cola, but I don't even care. The middle notes are nutmeg, cola, again, there you go, rum, and coffee. They love rum too. Love their saffron and rum. Those are the three. Very interesting. I love that. I think rum and coffee will work well with Cola Addict. Nutmeg, sometimes dealing with Born to Stand Out, they love nutmeg as well. It's not their, top three, but it's hit and miss in their fragrances. I feel sometimes it's thrown in and it doesn't always make sense. So I'm curious to see what that does. And then base notes: cola, hey, and sandalwood, caramel syrup, vanilla, and moss. Now I love that moss is there. It doesn't seem like it should be there, but it is there, and I love that because I just love moss in my fragrances. Is that wrong? No. Everything about it is right. So this one really interests me. Golden milk, I'm kind of like, but this one really is interesting to me. So I'm going to try it because I love those cola scents, and I would love to see their interpretation of it. So this one's definitely on the list. Though I really have a goal of trying like all of these new ones. Hopefully I'll do an order here soon, and we'll go through those here on the channel, especially just to get a review of them out here quickly, because I know people get excited with new products, but Born to Stand Out is still going for it. So remember, and I'm not going to flip off the camera. I just cannot believe they did that. I can't. No, I can. I can 100% believe it, but I saw that nod in my head and laughed. I'm like, oh man. Born to Stand Out. And lastly, Zoologist. One day I will do this in alphabetical order. Heck yeah. So they actually have news. A zoologist, they always have something going on, right? So we know they've put out a lot of scents this year. And so there's still 2 more coming out, and I've already put this in another video, so I won't rehash it. But Toucan and Raccoon Urban Edition are both going to be released later on this year. I think more towards the end of the year. I imagine one of them will probably be like a holiday release. I imagine. I could be wrong though. I don't work for them. I don't have the inside scoop, but I would imagine. I am excited by both. More so by Raccoon. Toucan looks wonderful, but I think it's just another kind of fruity tropical scent, which they already have. So I'm just kind of like, okay, but I'm really excited about Raccoon. And I've heard people talking about it, so that excites me. But they already have 2 new scents coming up for 2027 that they released at the San Francisco Fragrance Fest, too. And it's a little bit different because what I like about Zoologist is that it just looks at the whole animal kingdom and just picks random things. They're going with pets. Yeah, and I was like, okay, and I love Zoologist, but I was like, pets. That's awesome. That is awesome because, come on. Look at this. Look at this belly. Dude. I love that belly. Anyway, she loves I love that belly. I'm a big fan. And that's kind of interesting because the first scent actually is called Ragdoll. And there are Ragdoll cats, which I always wanted. I always wanted a Ragdoll since I was a kid. They are purebred. They're a little bit more expensive, but you pick them up and they just lay out, and they love attention and they love to be hugged. But I ended up not getting one because these kitties are from shelters, and especially this one was adopted from a high kill shelter here in where I live. And so that's why I opted not to get a Ragdoll. I get my shelter kitties and they have a good life. She's doing well. She's doing really well, and my other one's doing really well too. So you know, you can get rag dolls in shelters and things, but you know, a little bit of a tangent there. But I am going to be that crazy cat lady one day. I will be, and I am one with it. You know, some people dream about being an astronaut. I wanted to be a crazy cat lady when I was 9, so there you go. I love cats. I'm okay with it. Aim high. So the first scent is going to be Ragdoll, and I'm looking at it over here where I have a big screen where it's supposed to smell like baby powder and the scent of a cat, but on top of that is a rich aromatic floral scent to give it a lush regal smell. So they're not giving all the notes, but it's basically baby powder. I don't know why people think cats smell like baby powder. They don't to me. They do have a specific scent, but every cat has their own specific scent. Like I could smell my kitties in a lineup and know who's who blindfolded. But they do have a little bit of a powdery scent, I suppose. With floral. So this one's the more, and I've been seeing zoologists leaning this way more, where it's like, here's a scent for the masses that's safe, versus here's one that goes a little bit more outside the box, which is the second one, which is a Saint Bernard. I used to have dogs as a kid, but as an adult, it's just with my lifestyle, they would be sad. So yeah, so I don't, unfortunately. But a Saint Bernard, it opens up with the smell of dog paws. That scares me because my dog used to step in stuff, especially in major cities. They step in a lot of stuff that I do not want to smell, but they're saying the dog paws smell like popcorn. No. And then the aromatic herbal liqueur, Jägermeister. I've seen people do some dangerous things with that. And incense revealed themselves to give the impression of a monastery. So very interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Popcorn, incense, and Jägermeister. So there's your more experimental. Right there, I'm kind of like, how is that going to work? Popcorn, Jägermeister, and incense. And that is one of the fragrances that zoologists, I will always tie in with them, is incense. Incense, because they really love it. And incense. A lot of the fragrances have it. So this one's interesting. I think they're both interesting. I love kitties, so I'm excited about the one. I want to see if they can capture that in a bottle. But just with those 3 notes alone, I find that really interesting. But those are coming out in 2027, so once we know more about the notes, then we'll come and revisit it. But yeah, with a lot of interesting stuff going on. Actually, with the fragrances coming out, the newer ones, you know, there's some really cool ones that I'm kind of looking forward to. That St. Bernard, I'm gnawing at the bit to kind of get to. I definitely want to get that Cola Addict, a sample of that, and the Room 1015 is really intriguing to me. So lots of interesting updates coming up here soon. So watch here, because I'm going to give some of those a sample. I am going to give them a try, and we will see what they're like. So yeah, that's the most recent news on only the ones that I've tried here on this channel. And with that, have a fabulous day, my friends. Bye. We got construction, airplanes.